Why did they become Muslims? People who chose Islam. Thomas Muhammad Clayton.
It was almost noontime. Dazed with the sweltering heat of the day, we were trudging along a dusty road, when, from afar, as angularly mellifluous voice began to caress our auditory senses. So rich a voice it was that the entire space seemed to be sated with it. As we walked past a cluster of trees, a bewildering scene came into sight. It was such a scene that we hardly believed what we saw. Mounted on a small, wooden tower, an elderly Arab, in an extremely clean long robe and wearing a white turban, was performing, calling the adhan, or adhan. As he performed the adhan, he was in a trance, almost completely isolated from the world, and in the presence of his creator, owner. As if hypnotized by this noble sight, we halted, and then, slowly, sat down on the ground. We did not know what the sounds and words reaching our ears meant. Yet, they somehow moved us and instilled a mood of elation, relief into our souls. Afterwards, we learned that the sweet words uttered by the Arab meant, Allahu Ta'ala is the greatest. There is no God to be worshipped other than Allahu Ta'ala. All of a sudden, many people appeared around us. Till hardly a moment before, however, we had seen no one around us. We did not know whence these people came, and there was an expression of great deference and love on their faces. There were people of all age groups and classes among them. They were different in their clothings, in their manners of walking, and in their appearances. Yet they all had the same expression of earnestness, great dignity, and, at the same time, geniality on their faces. The number of comers increased incessantly, so that we felt as if the process of their increasing would never come to an end. At last the comers assembled. They all took off their shoes and clogs and stood in rows. To our great amazement, no segregation of any sort was observed in the formation of the lines. White people, yellow people, black people, rich people, poor people, tradesmen, civil servants, workers stood side by side without any discrimination between their races or ranks, and performed their worship together. I admired so many different people's brotherly coming together. It is 3 years now since I saw that sublime scene for the first time. In the meantime, I began to gather information about that lofty religion which brought people so closely together. The information that I collected about Islam brought me all the closer to this religion. Muslims believed in one Allah, and professed that men were not sinful by birth, which was quite contrary to the Christian inculcation. They looked on them only as born slaves of Allahu Ta'ala, displayed profound compassion towards them, and wished them to abide by the right path and thus lead a comfortable, peaceful and happy life. Whereas in Christianity even an evil thought was deemed as a sin, Muslims defined sin only as a result of disobeying Allahu Ta'ala, or violating the rights of born slaves, and acknowledged man free as to his thoughts. According to the Islamic religion, man was responsible only for what he has done. For the reasons I have cited above, I accepted Islam willingly. Despite the 3 years' time since, I sometimes dream of the Arab muazzins touching an effective voice and multifarious peoples running from all directions and standing in lines. It is a doubtless fact that these people, who prostrate themselves altogether, and indiscriminately, are doing so sincerely to worship Allahu Ta'ala.